Hey there, thanks for coming back. We're going to do a wrap up on the 30-day film challenge. And just a reminder, so this challenge was designed to do a few things. One of which was to help me get more comfortable being in front of the camera, and also to get into the flow of actually filming and editing and posting every day. And for the most part, we did pretty good. So we're going to talk though about the cons first and what didn't go as well, and then we'll get into what went right. And finally, we'll do a little wrap up and I'll tell you what's going to happen next. Got me some notes here so I can remember what I'm talking about. Um, so the first thing that really was difficult and was kind of a con was it took a lot of time. My daily schedule, I would get up between 6 and 7 in the morning, sometimes 6, sometimes 6:30, sometimes it would be 7. Get dressed, feed the cat, maybe take a shower and then get dressed. But um, once that was done, then I sat down and I would make the video for the day. I would draw a topic out of the box, and then we'd roll and I'd film it. And then once that was done, I'd make breakfast and go to work and all that stuff. Then I'd come home in the evenings and I'd kind of have to relax for a little bit because working at a school isn't as easy as one might think it is. Dealing with, everybody and the students and their parents and your coworkers and things like that. But I would relax for a little bit and then I would start the editing process. And even though it wasn't a traditional editing process where I was, cutting out all of the bad parts and, shoving things together and that kind of stuff, it was one long thing. Would cut off the beginnings, cut off the endings, add music, title cards, all that kind of stuff. And once I got into the flow of that, it was pretty easy. But for the first, week or so during this, I was trying to figure things out. I was trying to use Canva, and it would only allow me to upload videos that were less than 7.5 minutes, which was fine for the first week. But then I started to get a little more verbose, and my videos each day were getting a little bit longer and a little bit longer. And if you listened to the one last week about vacations, my favorite vacations, was almost 18 minutes long. I hope if you did watch that, or you do watch that, you were entertained and enjoyed that process. But I was also doing this weird thing where I would put the video into Clipchamp, cut it in half, and then send it over to Canva, put it back together, add my title card, build the thumbnails, that kind of stuff. And then I send it back to Clipchamp and add music and stickers and things like that. And it took me a little while, but then I was like, wait, I can do all of these things, well, most of these things in Clipchamp. So what I would do was I would make the title cards, and I had the end card. I would make those in Canva, and then I just upload that, which took a few seconds in Clipchamp. Upload the video, the raw video, do my cuts, and then put it all together, add the music, everything. And it took a lot of the wait time out because there's a lot of rendering that happens and uploading and making everything all together. So sometimes the actual process of rendering and re-uploading to my computer would take almost an hour and a half sometimes, depending on how long the video was and what all like stickers or music and that kind of stuff that I added to it. So that was one of the things that I was able to shorten up a little bit, and especially in the last week, it actually got much easier to do things, and the process was shortened up very much. Also, I had a lot of brain freeze when I was filming the topics. My brain would just shut off, particularly with the Beach Boys music. I don't know why. I mean, I've been listening to their music for over 50 years. I know their songs. I can sing their songs with them. Even the obscure songs on their albums and stuff, I know those songs. But for whatever reason, when I was making that video, my brain just shut off and said, we're not going to talk about their music. Who cares, you know? And I ended up making an outline. I sat down with my albums and my CDs CDs, and I wrote down all of my favorite songs and some of the obscure stuff, and then used that to make that video. So that was really weird. I've never had that happen before. The next thing, towards the end of the 30 days. So one of the things I did on the second day of filming, I had decided to start to do a different technique, which was to write out, have the topics, and then put them in a box or whatever, and pull one out each day. And there was a couple of things. I had 3 for the Beach Boys. I had 2 or 3 for the Cubs. And by the time the end of the month came around, I was actually kind of tired of talking about them and trying to say things that I hadn't already said. I know I did skip out on talking about the Cubs 2016 World Series win. It's something that always, makes me very emotional because of my grandmother never getting to see them win. But I felt like after seeing what people were watching on my playlist, that it wasn't a topic that people were really interested in. And I do want to do things that makes my audience happy. But if enough people reply back and say, hey, Linda, I'd love to see that video about the 2016 World Series Cubs, I'd be more than happy to make that in a future video. So leave a comment if you want to watch that. So, all right, let's see what else is here. So we did have some sound issues. In the beginning, I did not have some proper sound. I was using just the speakers off of the phone. Now I have a little mic that hooks up to my phone, and it provides much better audio, so you can hear me better, and hopefully it doesn't pick up all the noises like the people upstairs that are banging on things, and the car horn that just went off, and the cat that's playing over there. But we're getting that kind of stuff. At some point, I forgot how to use the mic, and I made a couple of videos, and it ended up not having any sound. I think the one time the microphone had died because I forgot to charge it. Another time I couldn't figure out how to turn it on. That brain freeze happened again. It was probably a day that I had worked a real long hours. It was probably hot. I was just, out of it. So, but we're figuring this stuff out, and this is what the whole thing is about, in making sure that I kind of have a checklist of what to do, when to do it, all that kind of stuff. And then let's see, filming wise, and we kind of talked about some of the distractions that have happened. Frankie has gotten so much better about not being intrusive when I'm filming. She's not as interested in what I'm doing over here. Just kind of figured out I'm boring her or something. There's also the outside noise. I've had some filming issues where I've filmed at work a couple of times, which worked out okay. I went into a conference room. Luckily, there was no classes or anything happening. I was able to go and film in there because I wasn't able to film before I left for work. So I tried to pick that up. And of course, there were one of the videos that I made, I'm sitting in front of a whiteboard and there's absolutely nothing on the whiteboard, and it just looked horrible. Lighting issues because I couldn't bring lights with me to set up, so I had to use the lighting that was there, and sometimes the sun was too bright, sometimes it was wasn't bright enough, all kinds of crazy things. But we got through them and learned from those things. And now let's talk about the things that worked really well. So as I mentioned, one of the things about doing this video series is to make me more relaxed in front of the camera, and I think that I have accomplished that. I feel much more at ease in just talking in general and knowing that other people are going to be listening to this and watching this at a later time. I have been told by one of my friends who has been watching this that she puts this on in the background and it's much like AMSR. Apparently, I have a very soothing voice that you can just have it in the background and it's not too intrusive. But I hope that you're still paying attention and learning stuff from me or about me. And that's awesome. Thank you, my friend. You know who you are. I appreciate you. Let's see. I've also learned how to go with the flow of things. How to not get upset when the cat is making a lot of noise and playing over there, or there's stuff happening outside, or the neighbors playing music really loud and things like that. The camera falling over, the lights falling over, that's crazy. As we talked about with editing, in the con section, I learned how to shorten the process so that it was going much faster and smoother. Also learned some new skills for transitions and adding the end cards and adding graphics and stickers and everything else, animation that is available within Clipchamp, which is what I use. It's a free website if you're doing your own thing. I do recommend it. It's pretty easy to use. I may eventually move into using Premiere Pro. We'll see how that goes. I'm relearning how to do the editing stuff. Let's see, I'm going to turn the page here. Also with YouTube, I have learned a lot with YouTube. If you look at my page, you know that I have a playlist now, and everything that I have created for this goes into that playlist. Everything new is not going to, there may be other playlists. It may just be on the page. I've also learned how to create the end cards in which it puts up a video suggestions on the tail end of the video. So if you're watching and you get to the end there, hopefully you're all watching all the way to the end, you'll see other suggestions. It kind of rotates through the different videos that I already have, and eventually we'll have a lot more. Also learning more about thumbnails. I know with this series, I wanted there to only be one style of thumbnail because I wanted it to be cohesive and for people to understand that this was all part of one playlist package. So the only variety to that is the change of the name, the day, and that kind of thing. But we're going to have all kinds of different new thumbnails coming, over the next however long we're doing this. Forever, hopefully forever. And then that brings us to what's next. So we're definitely not gonna be doing the daily anymore. It takes a lot out of me. My last video was 5 days ago, and I had to rest. I had to take some time off and just relax. And the funny thing about it, though, is that over the course of the last couple of days, I come home from work and I sit down and I'm like, I don't have anything to do. What am I supposed to do? I should be editing something right now and I'm not. And that was my other phone that just dinged, my work phone. So it, sorry, that was one of my instructors that was reaching out to me. Total brain fog now. Okay, yeah, what am I supposed to do? There we go. I'm like, where did I go? So I have missed the process of editing every day, but it's giving me more time now to do pre-production for the next video. And I have a few ideas of things that are coming up. One of the things that we're going to launch is a weekend chat. I'm not sure if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday, but it's where I'm just going to talk about what's happened during the week, things that have caught my attention, maybe something silly that happened, maybe just a recap of my week, whatever's in the news, anything like that. It's going to be like a weekend coffee chat or something. And if there's things that you want to discuss, you can put it in the in the comments, and we'll see if we can get it into a video. And then I'm going to do another video that will be a pre-planned video that will probably come out on Wednesdays. So we'll do something most likely on Sundays, and then another one on Wednesdays that will be a design discussion of things to come. And I do believe that the first one coming up next Wednesday, a week from today, will be, well, a week from yesterday for you, because this is coming out on Thursday. It is about a follow-up on my decluttering video, because I have some other things that I wanted to discuss, such as my mindfulness in buying things, how I grocery shop, how having less stuff has affected my life. So that's what the next video is going to be about. And then, yeah, so to wrap things up, what we're doing, I just wanted to say that even though this took a lot of time and it did take a lot of energy from me, I really, really enjoyed this. I'm going to say it, I love making YouTube videos and sharing my stories with all of you. And I hope that you will continue to follow me and to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the videos, make comments, even if it's just I love this or thank you, Linda, looking forward to the next one. Those things make my day. There's a couple of people out there who recently have been going back and rewatching videos and making comments, and I really appreciate those. It makes my little heart happy. So please continue to do that. And another thing is I am starting another YouTube page. It is called Living Fancy Free. It's already up. I haven't posted anything, but in Living Fancy Free, we are going to discuss what it takes to go from a life like this, living in an apartment or in a house, to a life living in an RV or a van and living on the road. So that's my dream. That's what I am pushing forward to, is getting myself into an RV with Frankie, and we're going to travel, and we're going to make videos all across the United States. And I would be launching my podcast, which is I'll be talking about in a future YouTube video and giving you guys all the details on that as well. So thank you for sticking it out with me, and I really appreciate you, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.